So in this episode, we're going to have a look at calibrating your honeycomb for your laser. And when I say calibrating, honeycomb doesn't need to be calibrated. But what I like is for my honeycomb to be in a very exact position so that I can use it as a definite reference when using absolute coordinates in Lightburn. I have a Lasermatic Mk1. The Mk2 has pins that holds it exactly in place. Let's just go over to the Mk1 and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. And the principle here you'll be able to apply to other lasers where perhaps your honeycomb just sits in there. And we'll see what we can do to make it a better situation. Before we head over to the laser, I just want to ask you all a favour. Love it if you give us a thumbs up, just a little click down below. And love it if you haven't already, please think about subscribing and tell your friends about me. Let them know and hopefully they can subscribe as well. And by all means, if you want to see how or why I do something, just drop it down in the comments below and I'll be sure to try and get to every one of those comments, and if I can, I'll do a video to go through whatever particular aspect you like. Let's get on with it. Okay, so here's my Lasermatic. Next door I've got the one that didn't come with an enclosure. This one's with the enclosure, and we'll see that the honeycomb moves around. There's no way to lock it in place. It just pops out, and then my roller, which is just there, when I use my roller, drop it on the pins and it's in an exact spot. But the honeycomb doesn't have an exact spot. When I do a job, I like to be able to put my piece right there. Let's just do a sample burn. Alright, this is about a 100mm circle. Now theoretically, we'll set the height. Okay, so we have a coaster here, and I've just pulled this down to the front and across to the side. Its diameter is 100mm, I might say it's 99.5. So popping over to the computer, we have Lightburn open, and here I'm just going to quickly draw myself a circle. Oops. Circle, shift not space, and we'll lock that. We'll make it 99.5, enter. Nice little shortcut up the top here. We just hit that little corner section there and it pops it into the corner for us. Now we're going to make that a forgot what they're called now, but anyway, we're going to make that just a background. And then what we're going to do is we'll duplicate that and we'll make it a little bit smaller. We'll make it 96.5 and we'll make that a burn, and in an ideal scenario we should be able to just draw a nice circle that'll be so close to following that it's not funny. We will home, and normally I'd have the hood down and the smoke will go out. It's only just a small one. So let's see how we went. Okay, this does not look very close at all to what it should be. We're way off. So if we want to calibrate this, if we want to get an idea where we should be, here's a little something we can do. Just going to stick a bit of tape on there. If you've got just normal masking tape, that's probably a bit better than this. The blue doesn't react as well to the laser, but I'll stick that on there like that. And we'll drop that. No, that's good where it is. Okay, coming back over to our thing over here, I'm just going to grab these two. I'm going to draw myself a square. And yep, 20 by 20, that's good, that's what I wanted it to be. We will pop that down into the corner and we will duplicate it and pop that up there. We will duplicate it again and pop it into the other corner. Actually, I don't need that corner. We'll just go down to that corner. Beautiful. Now, I already know that my laser is going to be, whoops, get the select button. I know the laser's off a little bit, so I'm just going to nudge that over 5mm and nudge this one down 5mm because I don't want to etch my laser. We'll try that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this and see where that line lands in reference to the grid on the laser. What I want is I want this edge here and this edge here to be on my 0, 0 lines, my Y0 and X0. Okay, now that that's done, we can peel that away, and we can see that we need to go up about 3mm. Top needs to go over more, looks like about 1mm and 2mm. Now I don't know if I can get the honeycomb out without adjusting the laser height. Let's have a look. No, we can adjust. Alright, so if you've got something like my other laser, just an enclosure without these posts in here, and you're putting your honeycomb down on the bottom, spaced up obviously, I'd suggest you want to make yourself some sort of L bracket or wall or something that you can bump your grid up against. In this case here, what I'd like ideally is a threaded bolt coming through from the outside to the inside, where I can just adjust it both there and there, preferably a couple on the front here and maybe one on the back. So I can adjust them out and then lock it in place until I get my honeycomb exactly where I want it. In this case, I'm not going to tap a thread in there. I haven't got that option. All I'm going to do is use some window packers, which look something like these things here, and see if we can get it to where we want it. Now I have done this already, so therefore I should be able to just use the ones I always was. Okay, so I have a 1.5 on each side. The top needed a bit more, so that's 2mm going in there. Turn that off so I can move the laser. And let's see how we go now. 2mm, sorry, that's 3mm there, and a 3.5 in the back. And this one should be fine there. Now I'm hoping that that is exactly where I need it. What I'm going to do is chuck my tape back on. Now this time I want to make sure there's a piece completely burnt out. So I've just stuck it this way a little bit further. Okay, that I can live with. If I need anything more accurate than that, I'll make a jig. But for doing what I'm doing, for example, with the coasters, that I can live with. Now let's pop our coaster back on and we will... have I done something on the other side already? Yeah, I have. Let's see if this is closer. All right, let's run it. Ah, I left the square there by mistake. Okay, so this time round, I ran the circle pretty quick. It could be that this is slightly out, but we're looking so much closer than what that was. I haven't measured whether this is the same in both directions, and I ran that circle at 7,000, whereas I probably normally run it slower. Theoretically, it should be a circle either way. The speed shouldn't impact on it. But if I was just doing a picture, I'd just simply lay them on up to there, knowing they're just a touch under 100. I'll just put a slight gap, and then for pictures that are just going in the center of them, I'll be quite content with that. I've got my reference and I've got my other reference, and I know I'm set. If I'm doing a larger piece, again, at least I can just butt it in and it's ready to go. All I've got to do is adjust my height up to the thicker material. So for me, that's what I call calibrating my honeycomb, getting it so that it is got a definite position, that it's running nice and close, parallel to the X and Y axis. Well, thanks for watching. You might see I'm actually editing the video right now. That gives you an idea of what I mean by calibrating the honeycomb, giving yourself a precise spot reference so that you can use the scale on the X and the Y to just drop things in and use exact or absolute coordinates. Please stay tuned. Drop in on our next one. I'm going to look at using the roller and what I do to assist in bulk runs of things where I'm doing something more than just the one-off and I want to have a certain amount of repeatability. So tune in next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share.